Introducing the JFD Deltadromeus, a mod that is returning to Path of Titans after being out of the game for about 2 years. Here it is, the long noodle boy is back, and I cannot wait to show this one off to you, so let's just get right into it. It has 3 subspecies, but first let's have a look at the male and female. So, the male is here, the female is here, obviously a lot lighter colours. Now, one key thing about the JFD mods now is that you can pick different colours on the skins. It's not just locked to one pattern, one skin. There's also 3 subspecies, as I said. Agilis, Salary, which is here, and then you've got Inexpecticus as well, which is pretty cool. Now let's go ahead and show it off in game and show off the model and everything like that. So here is the baby Deltadromeus, and this thing is absolutely adorable. It has a little bite attack as standard, and of course when it comes to testing this on a test subject, we only have the non-moving account. No Peebles today for you all, so luckily they aren't going to die. But of course we have the little bites here. This thing does very little damage as a baby. It's obviously not that important, but now let's showcase the baby calls. So, the Deltadromeus has a large swathe of new abilities that you can check out with this. However, of course, this doesn't have a massive amount when you compare it to other mods like the Absentia stuff and stuff like that have a lot. This is perfect in the amount that it has, and I think it's quite neat. It's in a nice little average here, which I think isn't too overbearing. For the head, you get 3 attacks, 2 slots to place them in. So you have 3 choices there, and 2 where you have to place. So you've got Infuriation, which is a low damage bite that increases a target's attack damage but lowers their speed and turn radius temporarily. Nip, which is a low damage bite. Snatch and Grab, which is a clan for animals with a combat weight of 1250 or lower. Then you have your senses. You've got Photed Frenzy, which is increased speed by 22.5% when within 100 meters of a corpse, and Mournful Gaze, which is outside of combat. Dinosaurs in a 50 meter radius have their hunger drain increased by 10%. This stacks 5 times. Deltadromeus is unaffected by this as well. For your arm, you get 2 front limb abilities. You get Dirty Tactics, which is a low damage attack that inflicts enemy with 50% longer cooldowns, and Forked Flail, which is a low damage medium knockback swipe. After that, you get your 3 diets. You get Carnivore, Elafravore, and Pharaoh's Favourite. Carnivore is standard. These 2 are new, however. This one allows you to eat fruit, berries, roots, and nuts alongside meat at the cost of 5% of your speed and 10% of your food consumption rate. Pharaoh's Favourite allows you to only eat fish and shellfish, gives you a 5% damage and speed boost to amphibious animals within 100 meters, can stack twice. Your hunger drains 50% faster with this diet equipped, so do bear that in mind. Then for your legs, you get 3 abilities. One of them is passive, the other 2 are attacks. Delta Data is passive, increases overall speed by 5% and acceleration by 2% 2 times when wet. Then you get Strike, which is a kick that does bone break and knockback, can only be used when sprinting, which is interesting. Then you have Stomp, which is a quick area of effect stomp that can only be used when standing, walking, or trotting. It pauses your movement, however. For the tail, you get Armor Tail and Balanced, standard stuff there. For your voice, you get Funeral Procession and Vomitorian. Funeral Procession is a call that increases your group's trotting speed by 40% for 5 minutes while out of combat, and Vomitorian is a drain 25% of food from non-group members in a 25 meter radius, which will be very annoying. Anyways, let's showcase all the attack animations, shall we? So that's all the attacks right there. Now, of course, that's the animations for the attacks. Let's showcase the damage that they do on the herbivore, shall we? So here is our Iguanodon. Now, do bear in mind, this, I believe, is a smaller dinosaur than the Iguanodon in terms of slots. It might be a 2 slot, but it could also be a 3, judging by the size of it. It's not the strongest dinosaur in the world. Its combat weight is relatively low, and its health is relatively low. But these are the bites. Standard bite right there on the Iguanodon. As you can see, it does very, very little damage. Then you got the nip, which does a little bit more. It actually has a more noticeable effect there. Now, I'm not going to showcase the pick up grab attack because this thing is obviously not of the weight. However, I'll showcase that in a moment. Following up, you have Dirty Tactics, which does low damage once again, but of course it does do the drain for the 50% longer cooldowns. Then after that, you get Fork Flail. Now, of course, Fork Flail is one of those abilities that's better on a smaller dinosaur. You're going to start to realize that this thing actually is more attuned to fighting smaller dinosaurs. You do the Stomp as well. That's the highest damage based attack. And of course, we do the Kick as well, which does, well, a lot. It's got an 8-second cooldown, do bear that in mind. It's probably done about 3 to 4 seconds of bone break on a larger target. Now, after all, this is something that's going to be going after small dinosaurs, so you have to bear that one in mind. Now, when it comes to picking stuff up, the most important thing I want to note right here is that this Iguanodon is a 0.1 growth. This is not a juvie, it is a hatchling. But you can pick this up quite comfortably. There you go. You cannot pick up the juvenile version of the Iguanodon due to combat weight. This thing is good at snatching up baby dinosaurs or small raptors. I don't know if it can properly get the small raptors, but it can definitely pick up babies. And I think that's probably what it's more attuned to do. Obviously, it's not going to be able to get something that's quite large, like a baby Iguanodon is quite big. Anyways, of course, that's all the attacks. I'm going to leave you there, and now I'm going to showcase the calls for you. Now, obviously, one of the things with the JFT mods returning is that they're actually getting skins. And these are skins that have patterns and different color options as well. Because back in the day, they didn't have them options. You only had 1, 2, or 3 skins with no alternate patterns and stuff like that. So it's very good to see them return. And this thing has 6 skins, which means it's got more skins than it originally had when it was here 2 years ago. That being said, this is skin 1, Primaris. Very nice skin overall. Then you've got Carnegie, which is right here. I love the pattern on this, and it's mainly focused on the white. You got Karen Coulter. No, you got Karen Colata. You've got Karen Colata here, which is like, reminds me of a bird in a sense. You got the red feet, you got the white neck, the red snout, the red eyes. That's what it reminds me of. Then you have Dotterel. Another gorgeous skin, might be my favorite out of the bunch. Then you have Merops, which is one of the old skins this mod used to have. Then Mogwai. Then Niloticus. And then finally Trigysoma, which is another really pretty skin. If I were to say what my favorite ones were, it would probably be Dotterel and Trigysoma, and of course Merops as well. Those are the skins though, very good skins, but that is that. Now, of course, everybody, that is the Deltadromeus by JFT. They have returned with the Deltadromeus. There was a moment where I wasn't sure if this mod specifically was going to return, and it gives me a little bit of PTSD. I'm sure many of you will remember this thing from back in the day. It's very fast. Although now, it seems that it's toned down a little bit. That being said, I'm a big fan of it, and I'm glad to see this one return. It was probably my favourite out of the JFT mods, just because it was long, slender, and quite the pain in the ass when you had to deal with it. That being said, though, let me know what you think about this one in the comments down below. I'd love to know your thoughts, but other than that, I'll see you all in the next one. Have a great day. Peace.